Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is going to be for the sign of Taurus. I have laid out a spread, so let's go straight to the bottom of the deck. This will run for the month ahead. Okay, so we have Seven of Pentacles. This is the card of waiting, really. It's waiting for things to come good, waiting for a harvest, if you like. You've planted the seeds, they've germinated, things are starting to take off. But you're waiting for the outcome, waiting for something to come to fruition. That is the phrase I'm looking for. Waiting for something to come to fruition. I'm going to take the top card here as well to look at that. And we have the Four of Pentacles. These are both money cards, actually. And these are long-standing energies. The pentacles or coins are years. So it could be that you've been waiting for things to come to fruition for between the last 4 and 7 years. That's a possibility, but not necessarily. The Four of Pentacles talks about pride and hanging on too tightly to things that don't serve you anymore. So, so in a way that could be hampering progress. If you are clinging on too tightly to something that does not work for you anymore, that would be slowing down the progress of what you're waiting for to come good. So that's a possibility. In terms of energy, the pentacles are slow and steady. They generally involve quite a lot of planning. This feels slow though. So far, things are feeling slow. So let's go to the centre and see where we're at. Okay, we have the moon at the centre, and the moon is a card of confusion. It is often sometimes a card where you cannot quite see your way clearly forward. And that sort of ties in quite nicely with this waiting for things to come about. You can't quite see your way forward to getting where you want to be is what it feels like. And yet the moon is only ever a monthly cycle. Things could change within the space of a month, quite significantly, I think. What's crossing the moon is the Two of Cups. This is the card of true love connection. Now, true love connection here is slowing down progress and hampering the confusion. It's a bit of a strange cross. It would make more sense if the moon was crossing the Two of Cups, but it's the other way around. So you can't quite see your way clearly forward because of a love connection, or maybe because of a love connection that you're not currently in connection with. Yeah, it could be that. And that could have something to do with somebody's pride, preventing things from moving forward the way they should be, which is adding to the confusion and the unclear energy from the moon. Right, okay. Now that's not necessarily from you. If there's a love situation or a pairing that should be in a good place by now and isn't, it could be that what has slowed it down is somebody else's pride or somebody else clinging on too tightly to things that don't serve them anymore. That is a possibility. I think we will get a clarifier for the Two of Cups. Oh gosh. Right, well, interesting. Perhaps you're in a love triangle, because we have two kings here. We have the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords, along with the Page of Swords. Pages are always communication, and the Page of Swords is to do with fast-moving communication, things like texting, emails, electronic messaging, could be dating sites, things like that. Have you got two possibilities on the go, and so you're not quite sure how to move forward? Maybe. Very, very interesting. So if you're in a dating situation, perhaps you have two potential options. This would be more likely if you're a feminine, because these are two very masculine cards here. Maybe that's where the confusion's coming from. You're not quite sure which way to jump, possibly. Which option do you choose? Well, that's a great place to find yourself, really. I suppose it is confusing if you've got more than one option. I guess the only thing you can do there is test them both out. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I wasn't really expecting to find that, to be honest, but that's what's come out. So we're going to go with that. I'm just going to lay them all here for now. The King of Pentacles would be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The King of Swords would be Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. The fact that they're both in King energy means that they're either a bit older than you or they're at least the same age as you. And they are stable and, well, stable in every sense. Financially and mentally stable at least, which is great. Okay, well, let's move on. We might have to come back to this because I'm not quite sure what else I can add at the moment. But I can see that if you have got two options, there would be confusion. It does feel like at least one of them is a perfect match. Maybe they both are. Wow. On the face of things, which is clear and obvious to everyone, there is a big change coming. This is an inevitable change. Death is always change, sweeping change that comes in regardless of whether you want it or not, regardless of whether you're ready for it or not. Change is coming. And there is a little family here. Change is coming and it's going to affect your family situation, I think. Let's take another card for death. Two of Pentacles. This is another money card. It's also the card of 2 years, weighing up your options, and the infinity sign, going round and round in circles, often trying to work things out. So maybe you've been stuck in a cycle of not knowing which way to go for quite a long time. And if that's the case, the change is going to come in and make a decision for you, I think. That's what that feels like to me. There's even two boats in the ships in this picture. So you're stuck between two options here. Really, really weighing up what is going to be best for you. I want to say long term. This has got a lot of long-term planning linked to it. Because as I said before, the Pentacles are years. So you could well have been really struggling to work out what to do for a couple of years here. But the good news is the change is coming. Whether you're going to make the change or not, the change is coming. And I think you will welcome it. To be honest, I think perhaps you might be a little bit scared. It feels to me like you're scared to make a choice. That's what it feels like, that you have options, but you're scared to actually choose. Choose how your life is, choose how your family is, choose who your family is, maybe even. So there is an element of fear here. Well, possibly fear of making the wrong choice. I think the choice could well be taken out of your hands. Let's get a clarifier, or rather, let's get another clarifier. Oops. Right, it's some sort of recovery period. If you have come out of a long-term relationship, or you've had a divorce or something, or some sort of broken-hearted situation that you have been recovering from, then I believe that recovery is almost complete because there is a big change coming after it. You've been possibly recovering for a couple of years, trying to work out what to do, trying to bring about the change yourself. I don't think you're going to have to make the change. I think it is coming anyway. The Four of Swords is 4 days. You could have been bereaved, actually. It could be that really you've been possibly here. This is starting to make a bit more sense. Possibly there has been some sort of grief that you've been trying to get over. It's either a death of a situation or a death of a person that you are trying to come to terms with, and you've been struggling to do that for the last couple of years. And so it's not been clear how to make your way forward. It's not been clear what you should be looking for. And it's not been clear what you should keep and let go of. This is what it feels like. Oh, I'm feeling sad for you now because this is, yeah. I mean, very, very rarely does death actually indicate death in a reading. But because it's come with the Four of Swords, I really think that there could be some sort of grief that you're struggling with. And that I think you've been struggling for at least 2 years. But I think that the struggle to see your way forward is longer than that. I think that's been going on for longer. The good news is that you're coming to the end of the recovery period. Things are going to really start ramping up, I think, in terms of moving forward, because as I said, death is an inevitable change. The other thing to say about the crowning position is it's obvious to everybody that this is your situation. So it's not a surprise. There's nothing unusual here in terms of the fact that you've had something to get over and it's taken you quite a long time to recover from. Other people can see that. I think other people have probably been quite supportive of that. But you're ready for a change, and the change is coming. In the hidden position, we have the Five of Pentacles. You've been left with nothing. Now, this is hidden, so this is either that you can't see this or that other people don't know this. This could talk about finances, actually. I think other people do know that you've been left in a period of recovery from some sort of grief, but maybe they don't know the financial situation, and that is something you've kept hidden. Or maybe they don't know that you're really starting to struggle on your own. It could be either or, I think. What came with it, we have the Eight of Pentacles. This is working on your health, your wealth, or your worth sometimes. And also the Magician, which is the card of manifesting. So again, you're trying to manifest a better life, a better improvement for you. In terms of the Five of Pentacles and the Magician wins here. Yes, you might feel like your life has taken a turn for the worse and that you are desolate and or have been left with nothing, but you're manifesting a big change, and the Magician is very powerful. You're going to make this change come true because you've done some sort of soul searching, I want to say, which is a phrase that I would never ever use. This sort of ties in with the healing card that we had before. Some period of healing which has brought about self-improvement. That's what I want to say. Yeah. So it's interesting. So possibly you have been recovering from something that has left you very sad. But the outcome of this healing from that sadness is that you are in a better energy in a personal way yourself. What's interesting here is that the Five of Pentacles is the card of lack of money. The Eight of Pentacles is the card of making money. So if you have been trying to work out how to improve your finances yourself, you've been doing it really well. I think perhaps you've been in a situation where money suddenly became a bit of a problem and you've had to get on and deal with it. And it looks to me like you've done that remarkably well. I mean, incredibly well, in a sort of startling way. In fact, maybe you've startled yourself. It's possible also, because this is in the hidden position, it's also possible that maybe you have not seen this yet. This is definitely coming. If you've not seen an improvement in your finances, you have not got long to wait. That is definitely going to improve, which is brilliant. The Magician it's the card of manifesting. It's getting what you want. Here, it's something to do with working out what you want and getting what you're owed. Oh, yeah, now that feels like I've hit a chord there. I'm getting a chill. You're going to be getting what you're owed. Maybe you came out of a long-term relationship for whatever reason and it's left you with very little money, which was wrong. That is going to be corrected if that's the case, because this feels to me like you're getting some sort of financial improvement that you are owed. Yeah. Oh, I'm really getting a chill. That is exactly what that feels like. So that's great news, and other people don't know that yet, or you haven't seen it yourself yet. So far we're looking at quite a lot of financial cards, but don't forget we also have this love pairing connection at the centre. In the past position, we have the card of free-flowing energy. Well, that makes perfect sense here because currently you're waiting for things to show up. In the past, I think things were flowing a lot better. I'm not sure quite why they stopped, something to do with grief and confusion. And in the future position, we have a choice to make, which is what I was saying before. We've got 3 2s now, that you have been weighing up what to do for a while. You've been weighing up a love situation or a love pairing. You've been weighing up a financial situation and a situation involving a change that you want to make. And in the future position, we now have the Two of Swords, which is the card of making a change. So let's have a clarifier for the two. No, actually, I'll just take that one. Two of Swords. Well, there's a little love token coming in. Somebody has an apology to make, it feels like. Normally this is to do with love, but I wonder if it could be to do with finances. Or maybe the two are completely interlinked. Yeah, it's finances. Well, actually, it could be both. Again, we have the Ace of Pentacles here. So the Ace of Pentacles is a large sum of money, or it could be something that you're owed. It can be a lottery win. Could be, it's good fortune, that's for sure. It could be a new home. Could be an engagement. So you're having to choose. Well, what is the choice then? Are you having to choose money or relationship? Not quite sure. Or a new home? Maybe you're being told to choose to accept the offer that is coming, that is going to be better for you than you know. I wonder. That makes more sense. So the aces are always divinely presented. This is an offer really that you should not turn down. This is an exciting, out of the blue, things improve suddenly sort of thing. It's a lottery win, it's a large sum of money, it's an engagement. It can also be a new home. There is some sort of link here with an apology coming your way to do with a large sum of money, or to do with moving on a love situation, or perhaps the two go hand in hand. If you choose to accept one of these kings on offer, maybe your finances will be sorted. Well, probably, because the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn masculine is the king with the money. The King of Swords is the king with mental clarity and focus and truth. So you're being really told to choose between money and truth. Fascinating. And we now have 2 pages out. Pages are always messages. So here we were having electronic messages. Here we have a love message or an apology. Just really interesting. In the personal position, disaster. Well, I'm not that surprised to find this here, because it feels like you've been through something that has left you more or less destitute and even possibly homeless. Gosh, that's an awful thing to say in a reading. And if that's the case, I'm really desperately sorry for you. However, you are making these financial changes yourself, and you are manifesting in what you need for a much better future. The Tower, one could say it's not a welcome card, but I choose to view it in a positive way, which is that although things have been turned upside down for you, you found yourself in a worse financial position and lack of stability, and or maybe a lack of home. And if that's the case, there is a new one coming. It's often for the best when you see these awful forest fires and everything is razed to the ground, but then you get much more fertile growth from the charcoal being added into the soil. And it's that sort of thing. If some disaster has befallen you and you have been left really lacking, then it might still feel devastating to you. But don't forget, we have got change coming. Let's clarify the Tower, because I don't think the disaster is ongoing. I feel like it's already happened. Worst has already happened is what it feels like, but it does make sense as to why you're desperately trying to move things forward and not feeling like you are. Here we are, 9 of Wands, wounded warrior. Yeah, it's really laid you low. Whatever has happened has left you feeling very, very battered, bruised, and I think vulnerable. And I wonder if this is why the trying to choose what to do, all these 2s that we've had, they're all cards of choice. I wonder if that is why things have felt so difficult. I think you just haven't been able to choose because you've been absolutely exhausted and ground down by the terrible situation that you have found yourself in. Well, things are changing. You know, terrible situations do end, and the 9 of Wands is coming to the end of something. The 10 is the actual end. The 9 is nearly at the end. So that's good news. In a personal way, you're exhausted by the drama. That's not great news, but that will change. In the home position, you're choosing to live like a hermit. To be honest, you may not have the choice. You might be having to live on your own or spend a lot of time on your own in order to work out what it is you need to do next, I think. The Hermit is the Virgo card, but also he is finding his own enlightenment here. Just how you've been working on finances to work out how to improve your lot yourself financially, so the Hermit is working out how to improve his life in the home situation. And don't forget, we do have the possibility of a new home here in the future. So I think the Hermit here is doing a good job. So if you found yourself in a solitary situation in the home, then I think you're finding your way out of it. Let's get a clarifier for the Hermit. Ooh, Emperor, most definitely finding a way out. Wow! Emperor he's in charge. What this actually feels like, you're having to channel some fairly alien energy in order to get yourself out of the situation you're currently in. Now, the good news is you have two of the most very powerful cards in the deck here. These are very masculine cards. And possibly that's what I mean. If you are a very soft and gentle feminine, I think you're going to have to really dig down deep and get hold of some shred of masculine energy within your personality in order to, well, I really want to say move a mountain here. It feels like you need to move a mountain, and it feels like you're going to manage that. But you're going to have to really dig deep, really dig deep in order to find that power, to harness that energy. You need to be more Emperor. You need to harness the Emperor's energy in order to manifest what you're trying to bring about in your life. And I do believe you can do it. The Emperor is the Aries card, which is the sign next to Taurus. And there is, within astrology, the possibility from learning from signs either side of you. So you need to really take a leaf out of the Aries book here and be very proactive and sort of drill down into that area of your personality to make the changes that you absolutely can make. And don't forget, we have change coming in anyway, but there is something here that you could do to improve things, and it involves taking courage, but also something to do with pride, actually. I wonder if for some of you that might be difficult to feel any sort of pride. I don't know why I'm saying that. I am feeling it though, and I'm getting a chill. That pride here has been an issue. We had pride at the start. This is the card, the minor arcana of pride. This is the major arcana of pride. At the start, I said that it could be a case of clinging on to some things too tightly that don't serve you. But now it feels a little bit like you're actually quite uncomfortable with feelings of pride. And I'm here to tell you that in order to bring about the change that you need in your home environment, it does involve taking charge of the situation. And I don't think you're comfortable with that. I think you've worked that out. I think you know that's what you need to do, but you're not comfortable to do it. I don't think you should be scared to harness your inner pride and take courage in order to defeat the terrible situation that you feel like you're in. I don't think you should be scared of that at all. It feels to me like this is alien, like the business of trying to manifest a change when you've been in a difficult spot here feels alien to you. But you can do it. In fact, you need to do it. You must do it. You must take charge this month in order to bring these changes about faster. I believe the changes are going to come in anyway, but they will come in quicker if you can help them along by harnessing some of this Aries energy here and being extremely proactive in getting the change that you need in the home environment. Well, good. You can do it. I firmly believe that. If you have any Aries friends, look at how they operate and try and channel some of that. In the hopes and fears positions, well, this is lovely. You're hoping to move from very difficult waters into something much calmer and smoother sailing. Well, that is what you're hoping for. And I believe that is what's coming. Let's take a clarifier for the Six of Swords. Well, we have the Queen of Swords and the Chariot. Wow, this is great news. Queen of Swords is very decisive. The Queen of Swords will be deciding what needs to be done. She has very clear thinking. She will be cutting herself off from things that are not working. And that is what that is feeling like, that you are leaving something behind. You've had to cut yourself away from a certain area of your life in order to move things forward in a more positive way. And great news, the Chariot is helping you move forward. Now, the Chariot is the card of movement, but it is not actually moving. The Chariot is the card of getting ready to move. So now it is time to be decisive and to actually get this plan in motion and move things forward. The other thing to say about the Chariot is that it is the Cancer card. So when we come into Cancer season, things might start to move forward more naturally, I believe, which is good news. The outcome, well, we have the Five of Wands. This is other people getting in the way, creating problems, arguments actually. But also what came with it is the Star. So if other people have been the problem here, then your wishes are going to come true. Five of Wands, to me, this feels a bit like a worry. Rather than an argument, it feels like a worry. It feels like you're worried that although you want things to move forward, although you know things can move forward, although things are going to move forward, you are worried that you're still not going to get everything that you want and that your wishes won't come true. Well, they will, because we have the Star card here. So there is some sort of element of worry attached to where you're going, what you're doing, and how your life is going to pan out, it feels like. Which is a shame. I'm sorry for you, Taurus. I think things are lightening up and you are finding a way to move things forward yourself. Because don't forget, we have the Hermit card here. Wow. And to clarify the Five of Wands and the Star, we have the Lovers. Okay, well, the Lovers is an angel, so you could be being guided forward. The Lovers is also a choice. It can talk about a great, strong soul bond as well. But in terms here of the fact that we've had choices to make along the way that you have not been finding them very easy to do, this could be another choice that you're worried about making in order to get your wishes to come true, I believe. You can do it. You need to harness some extra positive energy in order to bring about these changes. Let's just see if there's anything else we need to know. Whoa! Ooh, gosh, I am so pleased. The Sun. Right. By the time we get to Leo season, this whole period is going to be over. The change, the recovery and the change that you have needed to make, the financial problems that you have had to try to navigate, the power to learn what to do and to harness this energy, the Aries energy, and to take charge of the situation. The disaster that has worn you down. The power to manifest a new home and a much better way of living is coming. And your wishes are going to come true. If you have been in a 2-year cycle trying to work out what to do for the best, then that is coming to an end. If you have options, love options to deal with in order to choose the best way forward, that is coming to an end. And I am so very happy for you, because the outcome here, the long-term outcome here, is one of great success and joy. The Sun is the best card in the deck, and it could not be a better clarifier for us for the outcome that is going to be coming your way by Leo season, because the Sun is also Leo. So I think, you know, the business of choosing what to do has not been easy for you. You need to be decisive, and then you will be able to put the murky energy of the moon behind you and to come out into the blazing sunshine. And I believe the start of that is this month. So the murky energy that you have been struggling to get clarification on will be changing this month. Wow, what a reading. I really hope so, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you in your future. And if you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.